start playing some big cards. And the big cards is that they're alleging that really the police or the investigators involved with some of the Diddy stuff have been doing some funny shit. And he actually pushed for a mistrial because of mishandling of evidence, among other things that just would look like corruption and also covering up by the police. So Brian Steele, who consistently pushed for a mistrial with the YSL case that eventually turned into, Judge Paige Whitaker, she basically said, listen, man, I'm tired of y'all prosecutors. Y'all ain't shit. Obviously, that was county court or, state court. Let's just call it state court. Not federal. Eventually, with so many mistrial, offerings that they basically just told the prosecutors, y'all niggas lost. You're either going to give these motherfuckers a favorable plea and you could get a slight W, a common, a lowercase W, or we don't know. So, it worked there, but Brian Steele is, he's back and he's working with Diddy in his federal case, and he's employing some of the same strategies. So we'll get to that. Not only that, we had a few people take the stand today, and, they're telling more of the same. Diddy's beating this chick's ass, but we also hear that Diddy was frequenting gay clubs. Now, we're going to be honest. There's nothing that still has implicated Diddy in a straight-up man-on-man. I think Diddy's gay, 100%. Like, yo, I don't care if you have an orgy or a threesome, whatever. If your request is, yo, take that man's semen and rub it on nipples, you're gay. But, whatever. Some people might call him bi. We still haven't seen anything that also suggests that Diddy was just trying to only fuck men. So, whatever. We're going to get into those things as well. So, we got a baseline there. What else do we have going on? We could probably start the Tory shit, right? Probably start at Tory shit. You want me to start at Tory shit? I think we should. Okay, so let's start the Tory stuff. If you guys are, because we're not doing it in real time, there's no rush to cover the Diddy stuff. There's no rush. We got some time. We chilling. I probably done took 10, 12 shots during the intro. I'm probably going to have to get my next coffee to calm down. But we're going to make it through. So, chat, we'll start with the Tory Lanez stuff. And if you guys don't know, late last night, I'm over here cooling, maxing, and relaxing, and I get messages, and shout out to my people, shout out to Grant and everybody else. They're like, yo, footage is about to be released of the Tory Lanez stabbing. I had known there was footage about the Tory Lanez stabbing for a while, and in all open transparency, I got offered the footage as an exclusive about 2 or 3 days ago, but it came with a price of $15,000. And I was asking about it. Is it worth it? How clear does it look? Obviously, it's a very sad situation. Don't act like I'm trying to pay to see my mans get stabbed. But as a media organization and one of the leaders, I'm like, let me, someone's trying to shop this footage around. I end up speaking to a few people. Some people say they saw it. They're like, I'm going to be honest with you. It's nothing that's really worth $15,000. So, I didn't turn it down, but I was dragging my feet on it. But I don't know what happened last night. Late last night, things started to roll, and then I heard the footage was going to come out, and it got to some people who were my counterparts, and people work for me, and we put it out. So, basically, I paid nothing. So, that's good. W. Save $15,000, right? All right. So, let's actually speak about what the hell is in the footage, right? Now, we all know Tory Lanez was attacked brutally while he was incarcerated at a California prison. And he was attacked by another inmate who's supposedly serving life. So this person really got nothing to lose. And the person stabbed him 14 times. There's a lot of other things or mitigating factors to think about. It's like, yo, this nigga, wait. So y'all let him get stabbed 14 times, and apparently the guards were there, but they didn't really intervene. Like, it's kind of odd. Some people are leaning to the idea or the theory that maybe somebody set Tory up, or maybe there was a bag on his head. Who knows? Maybe the guards and the guy got paid off. We don't know. And I spoke to even some more people because apparently the guy who did it did an interview. And I spoke to, Raquel. Raquel did it from TMZ. And she was like, yeah, I interviewed the guy. We're going to play that interview. But then I got told the person she interviewed isn't the person who did the stabbing. Their ration. There's a lot, chat. There's like this is like a conspiracy theory, like almost like rabbit hole. Because they're saying, just think about it. What prisoner could stab somebody 14 times and do an interview over the phone the next day or the following couple days? You don't think they're gonna get put in a hole for at least 30 days? Niggas get put in a hole for having cell phones in they cell. He's gonna do a violent act like that and still be able to be on the phone doing interviews. So I heard there was a random dude that did the interview. It's not the person who actually did it. So in trying to figure out why this happened, and we're gonna play all of this stuff to give more context to it, it's still confusing to me. It's really confusing to me what the hell is going on. I can't rule out the possibility of somebody trying to get Tory knocked off. There's a theory that says it's been mounting and growing support for Tory. Whether the governor is going to look at it or not, I think it's going to become of national importance that Tory Lanez is probably or might be a convicted man for something he didn't do. And there's a theory that says, well, people who knew that they either railroaded him or they lied on him or whatever involvement they had with his conviction, the only way to cover up the crime, or not really the crime, but cover up the railroading and the setup, get Tory killed. Case is over. Okay? If he dies, you send his body to the morgue, you don't got to worry about freedom. I don't know if that's, the thing either, but I can't rule it out. So, let's start with this. And this is a trigger warning for everybody who's watching. Salute to all my people who are watching on, the Academy. Rumble up in the building, and I see, I'm not going to lie. Kick is kicking. Shout out to Kick, okay? All right. So I'm going to play the video, but I'm going to give you a little bit of trigger warning. There are, it's not the greatest footage, but you're going to see some depictions of what seemingly is, blood. And I want to give you that warning if you're queasy or, you would rather not have that in your day today. It's okay, all right? So let me play. I don't think there's audio because it looks like this is a cell phone recorded of like some surveillance footage. But watch what happens. Okay. Now, it looks like something is happening here, and I don't know what it is, okay? Now, keep watching this direction. You see somebody walk down, then you see somebody here. Okay? Let's keep watching. Keep watching. Keep watching. Okay, looks like a fight happening here. I don't know, or some altercation. Can't really see it because it look like this camera is actually, there's like a mirror that's blocking the stuff. Somebody gets knocked down. There's some dragging. I got to imagine right here is Tory. Look like this person is just brutally stabbing him. Oh my God. Wow. No, that's somebody stabbing Tory. Fuck. Now, again, I don't got a prison experience. I don't want to be speaking like I know how the inmates get down. But I do want to say this. Tory, for a second, almost looked defenseless while this guy is just, I don't know what this shank or whatever is made of. Obviously, it's not just a regular knife. They probably made it out of some type of thing. They're just stabbing this nigga, right? Let me make sure I have the audio. I don't think there's an audio. Oh, there is audio. Oh, shit. My bad. Fucking up like usual. Here we go. So this is the beginning. Here we go. So look like some guy goes over to Tory. I think this is Tory's cell. Or maybe this is Tory. I don't know. The fighting starts immediately right here. Okay. And I think this is Tory right here. Yeah, because he gets dragged because it looked like he was almost trying to go down the steps. He gets dragged. And then this guy looked like he's on top of him. And he's hitting him. Okay. Can't really see. Look like Tory's trying to kick whatever, as you would imagine anybody who's on their back would do. And then right here, you're seeing like a hand go down with the motion that if he has something in his hand, that's stabbing, right? Oh, my God. And you're seeing it repeatedly. Like oh. Okay. Now, miraculously, and I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, Tory's father, and I hate to get spiritual on y'all. Tory's father is a minister, a reverend, and I don't know how Tory gathered the power, whether willpower or otherwise, to get up and try to get out of that situation. Because if his body had just pretty much just like submitted to the fact that somebody's either on top of you or you're now getting, you're fucking getting stabbed, Tory could have died. And you can tell he's trying to get away. He's getting stabbed. And you see quickly Tory, he's getting stabbed to the point his shirt is torn. And he just kind of runs down. Again, this is the start of it. I'm going to play it again without stopping. This guy goes here. This guy's going to walk past and look like a fight starts immediately. They're fighting. Wow. Fighting. Tory's look like he's on the ground. He's stabbing Tory. Wow, he's just stabbing him. It's miraculous that he's actually alive. Tory somehow gets out of there. That's crazy. Now, supposedly the injury, and by the way, I told you guys, obviously, trigger warning. But this is supposedly Tory Lanez after the stabbing. Looked like the person, and shit, we got to be honest, it looked like the stab wounds, if this is blood, which is probably dripping down, a lot of them are kind of like above that sternum area, right? So, it's hard for me to actually believe that this nigga was just trying to stab him for fun. This nigga looked like he was probably going for some shit. And by the way, you never know. This guy could have stabbed Tory in the neck. Tory could have died. We've seen or heard about it, really. Young Scooter running from the cops. I don't know if you can see right here, like his face. The fortunate thing about this situation, if we could see the light in the darkness, is basically saying, I don't think there's any disfiguring things that happened to him, whether they like fucking poked out an eye or fucking, like did something that we're going to probably notice once he fully recovers. But it was nasty, clearly very nasty. And, thank God he survived. Right? Okay. Now, say that to say that the guy who did it, is, here we go. He did an interview, supposedly. And let's see if we can find it. Okay?
Everything led up to that day, but that day I just came out in the morning to tell him, good morning. And I told him what's up, give him a little fist bump, ask him if everything is good. We had a little situation the night before and the day before.
So what was the situation the night before and the day before?
So I heard some rumors that he was trying to put money on my head. He felt uncomfortable living next to him, said I was a threat. So I confronted him. And then I found out the same thing. Because he tried to put money on my head, so he said I put money on his head. So we had a little discussion or whatever. So the next morning, that night, he said some kind of crazy. So the next morning, I came out to see if everything was good. Fist bump, talked to him. He said, yeah. So I was going back into my cell. And when I looked back, instead of going to cell, he was walking towards my door. He stood in front of my cell, looked at his boys, made his little smirk. And when he showed me what he had and something in his pocket, I just rushed him.
What did he have in his pocket?
I just rushed him. What he showed me looked to me like I believed it could be a weapon at the time. So I rushed him, and I just snatched him. I just took advantage of him. He was weak. I just threw him all over, and I just kept slamming him and stabbing him. And
Were you trying to kill him?
No, not at all. But I think
Chat, make this make sense. Stabbed a nigga 14 times. I wasn't trying to kill him. I was just trying to make sure he could never breathe again with his own lungs. I was trying to make sure he breathed on a tube. I was just trying to make sure this nigga couldn't walk. I was just trying to make sure, come on, bro.
I felt like there was a weapon. I felt threatened. And when I felt like a sting in my leg, I felt like, oh, shit, he stabbed me? So I moved back, and I kept stabbing more. And I seen that he threw something, so I was like, oh, this is that. So I just kept going. After he was yelling, help, screaming, please help me. I just picked him up in that safe position and hit him and look at me. And then I just let him go. Like, I was just saying, like, man, you trying to kill me?
What were you guys like? I know why, but why would he pick you out of all people to want to put money on your head? What was the beef exactly about?
It was really no beef. He just talked a lot. And I had confronted him a while back about always saying certain around me. Like, I'll take a fade, I'll knife up, I'll put a in his place. And to me, I feel like the second, third time hearing that in a conversation, I was like, man, what you trying to say? So I approached him and told him, like, what's up? Like, just go, I'll come into your cell, we'll do whatever. Like, let's play this game then. Because I felt like he was kind of antagonizing me, like testing me, like if someone was afraid or something. We were cool in the beginning. We were cool for like a year. We chilled, kicked it together, everything. They did.
They're not on that type of prison yard, Rochelle.
Okay.
No. They got like little fractions, but she was more like he was different. He started kicking it with certain people, you know.
Okay, now again, I've been told otherwise and been told that supposedly this isn't the guy who stabbed him. But TMZ and shout out to, Raquel who did the interview, she said, no, that is the guy who stabbed him. So again, I don't know if this is the actual guy. Some people say there's no way this guy did that and would be able to be making calls. Whatever, I don't know. I know, like, you guys are trying to figure out a story, trying to hear this prison call. Basically, this guy said him and Tory were cool. And by the way, this has been explained to me, at least this guy, if he's real, or if he's the actual guy who did it. Him and Tory was cool. He said after a while, he started thinking Tory's feeling himself. Like, Tory think he's like, like, yo, I'm so Tory Lanez in this bitch, blah, blah, blah. They kind of fall out, right? Remember, they're all in prison. According to this guy, they claim they're both on like this, like, it's kind of a special unit. And it's not general population. Why? This guy is supposedly a sexual offender. And apparently when sexual offenders get like incarcerated because they know about the proclivity of other people trying to stab them or do stuff to them, they'll put them in special housing. Tory, not that Tory, I heard Tory's, Tory think he gangster, bro. So I hear Tory want to be with the niggas, okay? But because of Tory's high profile status, they won't let him be with certain people. And they'll only allow him to be in certain places. So that's where he gets around people like this, if you get what I'm saying. And again, supposedly, there were rumors that Tory tried to holler at his wife. Apparently, this guy says he doesn't have a wife. Apparently, and again, this is all coming from the guy that was interviewed, which I have to keep saying, speaking to other people, they said that guy is not legit. Because the actual guy is in the hole and he wouldn't be on the phone. But whatever. This guy is saying that Tory just disrespected him. And he clearly, if you heard the first 3 minutes, he said that he felt Tory was about to do something to him. So that's why he stabbed him. You guys let me know if you believe it.
We started being mad that time when we had our little misunderstandings and we stopped talking as much. But we were neighbors for a while. I've been knowing him for about 2 years already.
Okay. And during the situation when you and him grew a friendship?
Yeah, we were cool. We chilled, we ate, we drank, we partied, kicked it. Yeah, we were good.
How much did the guy tell you that he paid to have you killed to get off the yard?
Oh, he said double whatever I was offering, but I never made that offer. That's what I didn't understand. He said that someone told him I offered people money to get rid of him. So he said he would give that person double and some dope and stuff. So, but truth be told, I never offered no money to, like, why would I offer somebody something I could do? It didn't make sense. But once he yelled and made threats and I'll have you killed and, you know, have a run up to your cell, all that comments, I felt like, all right, you threatened my life. Like, there's nothing else to do but confront you. And that's what happened the next morning. I asked him, are we cool? He said, yeah, it's cool. And when I went to my cell, he followed me. And like I told you earlier.
Do you have any regrets of stabbing him?
Regrets? Oh, shit.
Because you stabbed him 14 times.
Yeah. I know that.
Yeah, wolf supremacy. I heard the same thing. Or wolfish supremacy.
Everything's over, you know, but at the end of the day, I mean...
They're saying the guy couldn't get phone time right now. Again, I mean, that makes sense too, but we're just working off what we know. So that's what I'm saying, allegedly. Take it with a grain of salt that this is a guy.
I felt like he threatened my life. So, I mean, I can't...
Now, granted, this is absolutely the guy in the picture. So this is the guy who stabbed Tory. We don't know if this is the guy on the phone. Santino Casillo.
I wish I could do certain things over, you know, but at the end of the day, I mean, I felt like he threatened my life. So, I mean, I can't. Those actions felt necessary to me at the time, like the whole, in the moment, him coming to my cells, you know, grabbing me, walking, like, I felt like, it's it. So I can't say I regret taking a stand for myself. No, not at all. I mean, I feel remorseful in a sense because it really didn't have to go that far, but I mean, he made his decisions and I made mine.
Did he end up having a weapon on him?
I mean, obviously I got a stab mark in my leg, and we're both going through the hole. I mean, they didn't find no weapons either. I don't understand that part.
Did he mention going to the hole? Pause.
Obviously I got a stab mark in my leg, and we're both going through the hole. I mean, they didn't find no weapons either. I don't understand that part.
But okay, so no weapons were found from him, only from you.
No weapon was the weapon I was using wasn't found either. There was no weapons found.
Where'd it go?
That's what in the video it shows me putting it on the floor. That's what they were asking me. I don't know. Nobody was around. It was just me and him on the tier. We weren't in no day room. Nobody was standing next to us. It was just me and him.
And who saved him?
I let him go. I picked him up. I told him, like, look at me. He looked at me, and then I just slammed him on the floor and kind of kicked the back of his butt with my foot, like pushed him, let him run away.
And did he run away, or did he crawl away, or how did he get away?
He ran, screaming. He knows. He knows.
Interesting. So the prison officials say stabbed Tory multiple times. Okay, all right. So that's pretty much just kind of, yeah, they're saying it's not him, but I don't know. Maybe it could be him, right? All little prison niggas. Shit, I even talked to Wack 100. Wack was like, yo, bro. You know the nigga who did that in the hole, right? I'm like, all right, bro. All right, okay. So all my prison people have told me that the guy is supposed to be in the hole, so he wouldn't be able to do interviews. I don't know. All right, so, you know, has Tory posted anything? He probably wouldn't post it, but his team would post it. They posted the change.org link, which, by the way, now has officially 301,785 signatures. And I'm going to be honest with you. You know, they're trying to get Gavin Newsom to do something. I really don't think he's going to do anything. But hopefully this could probably bring in other people like the rep Luna from Florida to put some pressure on him to maybe, I don't think he's going to pardon, but maybe like get a committee to look at the case again and then forward that if they come back with a favorable, like, hey, listen, yeah, there was a lot of shit that really went wrong, and I think that's the only way he'll do a pardon. I don't think he'll do a pardon just because of public outcry, because it goes against what he got elected for. He got elected for, it's California. California's like the home of moist ass motherfuckers, non-meat eating. Like, these are people who just eat grass and just like walk around with sandals and chancletas, bro. Come on, like, California's been ruined by a lot of woke ideology. So if a governor got elected in California, he's not going to be like, oh, let me go free a nigga who supposedly shot a woman, whether rightly or wrongly, because those constituents is going to be like, you're freeing a domestic abuser. You got to remember it's politics as usual, right? Like, no one's going to touch that case. So for Gavin Newsom, the most he's going to do is going to get a committee to review the case. And if they come back with, yes, there was severe things done wrong, he deserved at least a retrial, it'll be on his desk, and he'll probably still wait for Tory's appeal to do something. And if Tory gets denied on appeal, maybe then he'll pardon him. But there's so many steps to go. This guy's not, the decision maker is one guy, Gavin Newsom. He ain't doing it for a while, okay? So we will see. I will say there is growing support for Tory Lanez, and people feel like, it's of utmost importance and urgency that after seeing him get stabbed 14 times, if something doesn't happen shortly, we don't know. Tory might not make it through 10 years. He's served, from my recollection, I think he got locked up. I think he's on 2.5 years. Again, he has to serve 10. According to California's prison time, I think it's going to be at least 65% of the time you got to do, which is going to be like he has about another 3 years left. However, once he does that, he's going to get instantly deported. Instantly, right? I'll Google that. Let me see. How much of state prison sentence have to serve California? Okay. They're saying violent 85%. No, that's feds. Feds don't play. The thing with state is that they give you a lot of incentives or a lot of programs to get time off. So they'll be like, okay, you do this program, you become a Muslim or some shit. Like, you do it, like, they'll give you some shit to get some time off. However, with the feds, they don't give a fuck. They're like 85% off, not 85% off, 85%, and that's good behavior. We don't care if you become a Muslim, get a trade, get your GED, fuck you, nigga. All right? Okay. So I think it's around 60%, like when it comes to like Cali. Each state has their own different thing, but I think Cali's about 60%. Okay. Hopefully Tory Lanez has a favorable result, but we don't know what's going to happen. All right, let me see. All right. Give me 1 second, sir. Before we get to the Diddy trial, man, good old Stephon Diggs, man. Stephon Diggs. Now, Stephon Diggs for Memorial Day weekend was on a yacht with Cardi B and a bunch of women. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't post this. I was looking around this yacht. It had one of my old work on it. I'm like, but shorty upgrading? I'm like, well, hold on now. Anyway, I won't mention who, but if y'all watch the stream long enough, you probably would know. Anyway, fuck all that. This video in particular, and there's other videos of Cardi B turning up, by the way, Cardi B's chilling as well. She's with other people. She's turning up with her friends, drinking, blah, blah. This is Stephon Diggs over here who, consummate player. He's entertaining some other girls, but not really trying to fuck them, I would guess. And I know y'all might be like, why the fuck we talking about Stephon Diggs? Just watch. Nigga said, what's my name? They call him Daddy. Yo, I keep telling y'all, man. Yo, shout out to Cardi B. But Cardi B might be the first woman to leave one cheater and found a bigger cheater. Like, this nigga don't even wait till Cardi B is off the boat. He don't even wait till she's in a life raft. This nigga's already like, yo, bitch, call me daddy. Like, this nigga's macking in the corner. This nigga's a G. This nigga's, I keep wondering, how come them rappers ain't shoot this nigga yet? Now I'm seeing the game he employing. They're calling him daddy. Said on a boat. Said who gonna make it happen? Bang. Now, I didn't know, my green ass, I don't know what the fuck going on. I was just thinking they trying to suck his dick. However, we get to find out my boy went like this, bang, and he unveiled some shit. Now, I didn't know this, but my drug specialist in the chat, all the Diddy freak off attenders told me, Ak, you know what that is, right? I said, what's that? They said, that's that pink powder. So apparently, what they call Tusi is pink cocaine. Okay, somebody said, oh, that's the party pack. Yo, this nigga like unveiled it and just looks at them like, oh my God, she's so gassed. He's like, gas, look at her. Oh my God, they seem so happy. She peels it out of his hand. Damn. Yeah, this nigga is a freak off coordinator. He said, y'all bitches go half on this shit. Look. He said, y'all go half on it and I'll come down there and fuck y'all afterwards. You know what I mean? Fuck what Cardi B got. Yo, Cardi, I love you, girl, but come on, girl. Like, this is crazy. Y'all go half on the drugs that I brought for y'all. And then I'm going to come fuck y'all afterwards. This is crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta respect this gangster. My boy cheat in plain sight. I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. So anyway, of course my green ass didn't know what that fuck that was. But then apparently the NFL, which let me tell you this, man. Never get fired from your day job doing some shit for your side job. Okay? This nigga Stephon Diggs been so worried about fucking every rapper's bitch and being in the mix because right now, by the way, you know the funny thing is, even though we be like, oh shit, Stephon Diggs fucking everybody else girl, his pussy rate is going up. So he's indulging in it. Like the crazy thing about women, the more you tell them that this nigga's a dog, the more they like the nigga. So he's been enjoying it. He's obviously doing more and more now. But clearly now his side, conquest is getting into his main job, okay? So now apparently, which I didn't even know, I think Mike Vrabel used to be a defensive player back in the day. I haven't watched football in a while, damn. He's now a head coach, or not a head coach, but he's a coach for, is this the Patriots? Or what is he? I don't know. Anyway, he's one of the coaches, and he's speaking about the Stephon Diggs video. And I keep saying, man. He's on a boat? Stephon Diggs, man. You can't we all love pussy. But listen, you can't be doing that much that now your NFL either coach or team got to talk about whatever the fuck you got going on. Listen to what his coach is saying.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Mike. A video of Stephon Diggs has gotten a lot of traction in the last 24 hours or so. He's on a boat having a good time, but the question comes in as to a certain substance that people are guessing what is and isn't. Is this something that the team has to look into?
Well, it's something that we're aware of, and obviously we want to make great decisions on and off the field, and we're hoping that with our time here on the field today, and that when we don't have a script and we're on the call-up periods, that we're making great decisions. And so the message will be the same for all our players, that we're trying to make great decisions, and any conversations that I've had with Stephon will remain between him and I and the club.
Have you talked to him since the video?
I talk to our players every single day, the ones that are here.
They're trying to pick up for him, but Stephon Diggs, man, there's a lot of y'all. Listen, if you trying to go down the Antonio Brown wave, at least wait till you're completely out the league, bro. Keep getting these millions from these teams, and please, your extracurricular activity, don't do the Ja Morant. Don't fuck up your contracts and your day job because you like doing fuckery on the side. You could have it
Have you talked?
to what his side, I don't know what the fuck going on. I was just thinking they trying to suck his dick. However, we get to find out my boy went like this, bang, and he unveiled some shit. Now, I didn't know this, but my drug specialist in the chat, all the Diddy freak off attenders told me, Ack, you know what that is, right? I said, what's that? They said, that's that pink powder. So apparently, what they call Tusi, is pink cocaine. Okay, somebody said, oh, that's the party pack. Yo, this nigga like unveiled it and just looks at them like, oh my God, she's so gassed. He's like gas. Look at her. Oh my God, they seem so happy. She peels it out of his hand. Damn. Yeah, this nigga is a freak off coordinator. He said, y'all bitches go half on this shit. Look. He said, y'all go half on it and I'll come down there and fuck y'all afterwards. You know what I mean? Fuck what Cardi B got. Yo, Cardi, I love you, girl, but come on, girl. Like, this is crazy. Y'all go half on the drugs that I brought for y'all, and then I'm going to come fuck y'all afterwards. This is crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I got to respect this gangster. My boy cheat in plain sight. I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. So anyway, of course my green ass didn't know what that fuck that was, but then apparently the NFL, which let me tell you this, man, never get fired from your day job doing some shit for your side job. Stephon Diggs, man, you can't love, well, we all love pussy.
Have a script and we're on the call-up periods that we're making great decisions. And so the message will be the same for all our players that we're trying to make great decisions, and any conversations that I've had with Stephon will remain between him and I and the club.
To what his coach is saying.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Mike. A video of Stephon Diggs has gotten a lot of traction in the last 24 hours or so. He's on a boat having a good time, but the question comes in as to a certain substance that people are guessing what is and isn't. Is this something that the team has to look into?
Well, it's something that we're aware of, and obviously we want to make great decisions on and off the field, and we're hoping that with our time here on the field today, that when we don't have a script and we're on the call-up periods, that we're making great decisions. And so the message will be the same for all our players that we're trying to make great decisions, and any conversations that I've had with Stephon will remain between him and I and the club.
Have you talked to him since the video?
I talk to our players every single day, the ones that are here.
They trying to pick up for him, but Stephon Diggs, man, there's a lot of y'all. Listen, if you trying to go down the Antonio Brown wave, at least wait till you're completely out the league, bro. Keep getting these millions from these teams, and please, your extracurricular activity, don't do the Ja Morant by having too much fun at the fucking. Yeah, I know people say he's washed. But again, while you're still getting that NFL bread, you need to still protect that image. You're not Future. You're not Le Bebe. You're not these other guys. Come on. You got to clean it up, my brother. You got to clean it up. All right? Anyway, whether he wants to listen or not, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? He's already rich. But
Diggs.
Oh, Stephon Diggs.
At least I should name my sister Diggs.
yeah, he going to hand him some Tusi. Fucking have these bitches driving a boat, slanging cock on them. Yeah, I see why.
100%.
Would nobody want me to do this?
This nigga gonna bring the party pack, the Diddy pack. He gonna bring some shit. Boy pop up with the baby oil. He pop up with exactly what Diddy be bringing.
I'm a great guy.
The Astroglide.
I'm actually a great guy.
There's actually seems to be a few guys that don't think that.
Feel differently about me?
Yeah.
They just don't know me well enough. That's what it is.
Dalvin, what guy on this team would
The way this nigga looked when he said, "Oh, Diggs,"
You.
that was crazy.
Video.
There was-
Video of Steph.
There was
You know what?
I was watching the P. Diddy trials.
Yo, chat. By the way, I told y'all my story with that bum ass nigga. What's his name again? Green, whatever his name is, Danny Green. There's a few rappers who can't wait for this nigga, Stephon Diggs' career to be over. You know what? Trust.
for me. There was
Trust.
Video.
Devil.
Trust. Anyway, all right, that happened. Okay. What should we get into next? This is a Central C video. Actually, I'll play it. You know, I'm international with my shit, chat. You know, they got the Shade Room. They got something called the Shade Borough. The Shade Borough. This is kind of crazy. Anyway, Central C was spotted in the airport. And there was a paparazzi person who was trolling him. And I'm going to be honest with you. Yo, that's why I keep telling you I think Central C is one of the biggest and brightest stars that's coming out for the new generation. I think charisma-wise, I think he handles everything dope. And he also knows how to rap. You know what I mean? Like, he's dropping freestyles constantly. I think, you know what I mean? I thought Jack Harlow was going to be that, but I think Jack Harlow about to go pop soon. I ain't going to cap with you. Jack Harlow's realizing that niggas ain't fucking with him like that. You know what I mean? You know why? Because he came out and started doing some gay jokes and shit like that. You know how black people are. We ain't going to fuck with you all the way when you come out doing white boy shit. You know what I mean? We ain't going to fuck with too many gay jokes. Or really none. I think Central C is white. Is he? I don't know if he white. You know what I mean? Usually white artists tell you they Cuban. They tell you they everything but white. You know what I mean? They ain't going to tell you that they mama Irish. They fucking daddy is from Australia. They going to tell you some other shit. Yeah, I'm Cuban. Okay, cool. Whatever. But anyway, they try to troll him. Listen to this.
One hit wonder, so.
So someone's calling him a one-hit wonder trying to troll him.
One hit wonder, so.
What was the hit?
Why are you being rude?
Now, Central C's this nigga's just, he knows how to just handle himself, bro. Like, he to me, and no dick riding, y'all gonna think I'm dick riding. I just think, like, he don't embarrass himself in these situations. He's like, yo, somebody call you a one-hit wonder? He could just get mad and they want that reaction. He's like, yo, what was the hit? Which I think is a great comeback because if you name the hit, you're a fan, my nigga. I don't care if I had one hit or whatever, right?
You're being rude, man.
So why did you just say one hit wonder?
Now his man start pressing up. Look.
That's who you are.
So what does that mean, though?
What are you talking about?
I don't really.
One hit wonder, so.
What was the hit?
Why are you being rude?
Now, by the way, to this guy right here, I don't know who he is. Man, stop covering your face. Nobody knows you, man. Y'all supposed to be pressing up when somebody's trying to troll the prize. This is the prize, okay? Y'all niggas, I don't know what you doing back here. Y'all supposed to go confront the dude. Don't do nothing to get him sued, but yeah, anyway. All right, yeah, those are some clips I saw. Was there anything else? We're about to get into the whole Diddy shit, but I wanted to make sure we knocked out a few things. Oh, Joey Badass. Looked like he just got, Joey Badass just had a new kid? Okay. All right. Oh, they had a baby shower. Okay, this is his queen. Okay. Yo, Joey's like multitasking. He beat the entire West Coast ass. Yo, he handling the West Coast niggas like babies in a diaper, man. It's like they took their diaper off and just start applying belt to ass, bro. Yo, Joey Badass. Yo, we got to start. Yo, listen, I'm going to get on my Charleston White shit. Joey Badass got to catch a felony. This is assault and battery. This is aggravated assault. This man looks so relaxed while giving the entire West Coast belt. I don't like it. Actually, I do like it, but I don't know how West Coast niggas. Yo, this nigga got West Coast niggas so discombobulated. Yo, it's like LeBron getting belt. Imagine LeBron. Wait, who LeBron lose to this year? LeBron getting belt from Anthony Edwards, and all of a sudden LeBron said, like, he forget the niggas on the court. He be like, yo, fuck you, Charles Barkley. Be like, nigga, I ain't even on the court. What you? That was what Absol did, Chad. The niggas start getting belt from this nigga. He's like, you know he blind. Or I didn't. Yo, somebody hit me and said, why y'all didn't tell me this nigga's blind? I would have cooked him even crazier. The nigga's blind. The nigga can't even see his own dick. Yo, why y'all didn't tell me this nigga was blind? Because I'm like, why this nigga wearing glasses? Like, nigga, the nigga is blind. He got videos saying he's legally blind. I'm like, oh, hell no. Ain't no way y'all got a blind man talking crazy about me like this, and y'all didn't tell. I'm reading the chat the whole time. None of y'all told me this nigga's blind. This shit don't make no sense. So, this thing is getting, yo, what I realized happened, Joey Badass is giving this nigga the beat so much, this nigga with a walking stick like this, like, he's so confused, he's just going off at anybody. This fucking blind bat. All right, it's all good. I'm waiting for this song because I'm gonna cook him. But salute to Joey Badass, man. You know, I hope y'all watch his, you know, he got some shows on TV. Hopefully get an Emmy. Shit, he should, like, the way the West Coast is, like, very moist and emotional. Yo, nigga, I ain't gonna lie to you. The West Coast been getting their ass beat so much. They told, yo, I seen mad niggas. Chat, what does this symbol mean? Because I don't know what the fuck they talking about. It's because I thought they think we're doing some this disability Olympic shit. I'm beefing with a blind nigga from the West. And everybody in my DMs keeps sending me the cripple emoji. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not crippled. He is. What the fuck? Chat, what the fuck does this mean? Everybody keeps sending me this. Don't come to the West. I'm like, nigga, I'm not wheelchairing through the West. What the fuck? Chat, what are these niggas talking about? He's blind. He got the little placard that's on his car that when he pull up to Chipotle, he parking like, the spot is for like 5 cars. They know his blind ass can't park. What the fuck? Why are these West Coast niggas sending me this? I don't know what it means. I'm not in a wheelchair. I could walk. Hold up, man. Come on, man. Yo, I'm going to the Kendrick show. I'm trying to do the. Yo, Chad. The nigga's blind. It's not, we're both, listen, it's not 2 disabled niggas. It's 1. Chat, y'all know y'all can't send a disabled nigga to come fuck with me. Y'all say what? Who what? Is Crip? He Crip? Is he Crip, chat? Y'all can't have a blind man being Crip. Yo, if the nigga blind, he don't even know colors. Like, bruh, like, nigga, you could just dress that nigga in blue and he's still claiming Crip. Like, nigga, he don't even know what he throwing up with his hands. No, stop it. Y'all can't have blind niggas. Like, come on. Nigga, he probably think this is a scene. Like, he don't know what's going on. This nigga's fucking blind. He's not. Yo, chat, I'm not beefing with a nigga that need Braille. Like, come on, chat. How you gonna gangbang in Braille? Like, what the fuck? I just see a bunch of dots. Like, nigga, is this fucking herpes? What is this? I'm beefing with a nigga that got, let me see. I gotta learn Braille to beef with this nigga. Braille. How? Braille, learn Braille. Chat, let's go learn Braille to beef with Absol. This fucking blind bat. Like, what the fuck? How am I gonna beef with a nigga that when he get to the bathroom, he gotta go like this? Like, he's like this. Okay, that's men's. What the fuck? I'm not beefing with him. Bro, this is that nigga's alphabet, chat. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking, chat? This is the nigga I'm beefing with? Yo, the West Coast, y'all crazy right now. Y'all sent a nigga that's blind to beef with me? The nigga, now, I've never had to do this. I gotta learn Braille to beef with this bum ass nigga. Imagine this bum ass nigga writing lyrics. No wonder his shit weak. Chat, this is what y'all got me going at? Chat, the nigga. Look at this shit right here. What the fuck is, nigga, this shit look like tic-tac-toe. Nigga, what the fuck is this? This is what we beefing with? No, chat, I want to know. Chat, I thought I was tripping. I'm like, why this motherfucker always got on the glasses or something? Like, yo, Joey Badass, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you. I'm not beefing with no blind bitch. Boy, nigga get LASIK or something. Boy, got cataract, glaucoma. Nigga, I would have been rapping about being able to see. Fuck that. Nigga, if you're blind, the only joke I got for you, like, if y'all had told me this, I wouldn't even been talking about his baby moms. Nigga, I would have just stuck on the fact he can't see. The nigga can't see. The nigga's imagining how I look. No, I think when I see academics, they told me he was fat. I'm gonna slap him. Yo, I could be standing 6 feet in front of him. He's like this. The nigga might fuck around and slap himself. Y'all got me beefing with a blind bitch. Chat, why didn't y'all tell me this nigga's blind? It's no fucking way. This nigga's in the Special Olympics. Joey, you need to apologize to the man. You are able-bodied and you're beefing with the nigga who's in the Special Olympics. You're fucked up for that. You a New York nigga. New York niggas don't do that type of shit. You don't do that type of shit. Beef with the other nigga name. What's his name? Rayvon? Yeah, beef with that nigga. At least that nigga's able-bodied. This nigga's blind. How the hell we got a blind man? Yo, chat. Y'all get me frustrated, man. How come y'all don't tell me this shit? How the hell? Look, chat, look. Absol legally blind. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh my God. Wait, hold on. The second thing, the nigga say he gonna slap me. Nigga, with all due respect, and this is all fair game. Nigga, before you do something to me, you might do something to yourself. Let me just keep
You gave
it
a lot
light.
of yourself on
Let
God
me
Rap.
just keep it
That was a
light.
difficult song
Y'all
to
keep
write.
this
It was difficult hearing saying that you attempted suicide and that you broke your leg and your teeth.
The only person he finna do something to is himself. I don't understand how it feels to look in the mirror and you can't see shit. He feel in the mirror, there's no braille there. Oh my God. I get it. But before y'all said this blind bitch finna do something to me, just remember, he can't see himself. He can't see me. This is gonna be a good, put us in the same room. He won't even know I'm there. He won't even know. How the hell, before he do something to me, y'all better go, Top Dog, get up in that room to make sure that, take the noose out of his hand. Take the noose out of his hand.
Yeah.
Sorry. Shit, if y'all niggas beefing with me, y'all should have jokes about me being fat. I don't give a fuck. What the fuck? Marco, you know what I'm gonna do? Just be quiet. You're cheating, Ack. You're cheating. Where's the braille? Where? I done escaped. Chat, this is who y'all had me beefing with? Oh my God, I can't believe it, chat. Y'all gotta stop. Cause now when I start clowning him for being like half retarded and like blind and shit, y'all gonna say I'm mad, right? I'm oh my God, I can't believe y'all. At least when I was going at Meek stupid, but he could see. He just can't read. Meek got 2 eyes. He could see shit. He just don't know what it is. You know what I mean? Listen, at least that's more that's competent. His eyes work. Maybe not his brain. Chat. His eyes work. His brain. Okay. This nigga, he think life is filled with a bunch of stick figures. Okay. Dot said it's time to pop out and show niggas. I wonder how that look. Yeah, come on, chat, stop playing. The retarded nigga out of goddamn TD I said. The fuck?
It was not a conscious decision. I was literally.
Ain't no way.
It was literally out of my control. I woke up. I woke up on the ground.
Wow.
My friend, like, God is good.
God is good.
Chat, these type of niggas are liable to end their own shit more than do something to you. Bruh, I'm sorry to tell y'all, this is the truth. And I don't wish nothing like that to happen to him. I think we should put him in a home that we could give him, train him to use Braille, seeing eye dog, and a little walker that we could make sure, and we tell him about the colors, tell him about Roy G. Biv. You feel what I'm saying? Like red, orange, yellow. Because all your lack of talent. I was perfectly fine. It was never on my mind like, oh my God, why Ab-Soul ain't dropped today? What the fuck is going on with Ab-Soul? Somebody get Ab-Soul on the line. Nigga, you can't even see my tweets. Nigga, you've never seen a stream. How the fuck are you so mad? I ain't even saying nothing about it. Nigga, you can't even watch my stream. This nigga listen to my shit like an audiobook, huh? Is that academics? I'm gonna diss him. Tell him when I see him, I'm gonna slap him. I'm like, oh shit, this nigga talking. He really on that satanic shit. He talking about me in a different lifetime. He ain't gonna see me. He can't see. The nigga can't see. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm 100%. After the Charlamagne interviews, it was substance abuse. Mainly the vape. Is this the first nigga to ever overdose from vape, bro? Oh, hell nah, man. Vaping led to his fucking depression. Oh, hell nah. I've never seen some shit like this. This is some TDE shit right here. They said the vape. This ain't me. This is his own fans. Vape led to his depression. I never seen some shit like that before. Oh, my God. Ain't vape some shit? I be seeing bitches do vapes. How the fuck vape? It's a grown-ass man. Vape? What? Oh, my God. That's fair, man. Instances of vaping causes depression and anxiety. Oh, my God. Yo, Charlamagne, you got to put this nigga in a self-help program, bro. We got to start like involuntarily putting some of these niggas in institutions. Top Dog and Punch. If this bum-ass nigga hurt anybody, it's on y'all watch. He done said he want to kill himself. He said he don't feel good. Let me tell you this. When you got somebody who's saying these things, they go out and hurt somebody else, just like I truly believe. If any of these people, when they're school shooters and the parents ignore them and say, I just want to kill myself, Mom. And you just sat there and say, Johnny, go to your room. Next thing you shot up the whole school, it's your fault too. This nigga is off his rocker. He's battling with some serious demons. And y'all don't want to institutionalize the nigga. He can't see worth a bat. He don't know what's going on. He probably got the Samsung remote in his hand thinking it's a gun. We don't know what he think. Chat, let's get this guy some proper help, please. And if Big Act got to be the mental health advocate for a cracked out rapper like this nigga overdosed on vaping? What the fuck? Oh, hell no. Is this what's going on? I'm not muted, am I? I'm going to let him go. I know a good facility that would take in Absol. Absol needs help. And Absol, I still rap battle with you because I think you need the visibility. But the levels of clownery that I was going to go to with you, now that I realize you're half retarded, blind as a bat, and you clearly are depressed, this is not a fair fight. I apologize to you because your threats of slapping me should have been, it's like the retarded kid in class. Yo, I'm about to, I'm about to. No, I should, no, you're not going to do nothing. Just chill out. Come on, man. Come on, let's go get some ice cream. That's what I should have done. I should have never took your ass serious. I'm thinking you look like super tough, like, ayo, cuh. No, you're not. You're like, yo. No, we should have been like, man, okay. It's okay. Get on the school bus. You're going to be good. They're serving ice cream for lunch. That's it. I apologize to you, bro. I didn't know you were suffering from all this dumb shit. I apologize, even though you offended me first. Remember, I was minding my business. You said you're going to slap me. Okay. So I apologize to you, Absol. If anything, we should use this as a level of awareness. And chat, I want to turn this around. Sometimes in the most negative situation, we could turn this into something positive. We need to have, number one, Mental Health Awareness Day in hip-hop. This guy is suicidal. This is not a joke. We should know he's going through things and he cannot be taken serious. We should try to address those things, and we should also push for it to be publicly accepted rather than clowned, that when people speak like how he's speaking, that they want to take their own life is taken serious. We could help those people with programs and other things to help get them right. Then not only that, when we do see people who are, going through tough times, we don't make it a thing to clown them. So, Absol, I want to just culminate this with, sorry for the petty jokes. I'm a little petty, but I do want to apologize to you. I had no idea you were suicidal and blind as a motherfucker. I want to apologize to you for that. Okay? I don't like bullies, and I think the sparring back and forth is not even fair at this point, okay? Because, no, I don't want to make fun of your disability, all right? So let's just keep it going, bro. Let's just keep it going. Chat, why y'all didn't tell me, man? Y'all had me cook. Y'all, you know I cooked up 3 hours of ether for this nigga. And then I realized, oh, this nigga blind. And I'm like, could I still get it off? Because I was like, kind of already cooked it up. Could I still get it off? Then it was just like, yo, bro, like, to keep it real, he might do it. I said, he might do what? Like, see? It's like, nah, he'll never do that. I'm like, okay, stop it. They said he got a bunch of videos about him wanting to. So, oh, I don't like that. Absol, I've only taken one L. That big silverback gorilla, Saucy Santana, because my Jamaicans, I couldn't do what I needed to do. Pause. I will concede this as an L. I do think we should not make fun of or really engage with people of lesser emotional intelligence and also social and also brain aptitude. So I'm gonna let you have it, brother, and keep going. You know what I mean? Like I was supposed to give you the gold star. Like, yeah, you ain't gonna beat Joey Badass, but you know the little like the nigga who's on the short bus. He clearly failed the class, but you still give him a gold star. You know what I mean? Like, bring this on to mommy. Like, got you. That's what we should have done. Everybody clap it up. You know when you clapping for them, you can't even clap regular. You gotta be like, yeah. That's all we gotta do. Right there. Yeah. Got him. Y'all West Coast niggas, pick a better nigga you gonna send. Don't send me no more retarded niggas, blind niggas, or fucking suicidal niggas, okay? Send somebody that has actually got some type of sense, all right? Let's go on. Fuck. It's good. It's good shit. I was going to save this cooking for later, but I guess it came early. I'm sorry. All right. Let's get into it. So apparently the Diddy trial is... Yo, chat. You know the most thing I'm impressed about myself, because I do watch after I do a stream. I'm like, I have a great ability of after I'm so like charged up emotionally and ranting. I'll be like, all right. Anyway, next topic. So the Diddy trial went on today, and honestly did. So we actually missed the entire day, and we are going to get an idea of what happened. So I'm gonna speed through this. By the way, again, tomorrow I'm gonna be streaming early. I apologize for the late stream today. We are gonna be on time tomorrow, and I sincerely apologize. Okay? Cool. So let me actually get to the main things, right? By the way, I didn't read everything that happened, but I'm going to try to speed through it instead of like, lollygagging like what we do when we're waiting for tweets, okay? Cool. So basically, in the morning, the jury got brought in. The judge says, let's address this. And, every day in the morning, they're addressing things that are issues that have been brought up or either filed in the docket by the prosecutor or by the defense team, right? So now they want to talk about something else. They said, I think they were talking about something they were talking about yesterday. They're saying there's a message that talked about Mr. Ventura's state of mind. Dawson says that's a problem with not being able to recall Ms. Ventura as a witness. So it looks like, they're still focusing a lot of the trial, well, not a lot of, the entire trial on this one victim, Cassie. Apparently there's going to be another victim we ain't see yet. And they're now trying to introduce some other shit. Now, here's the problem, right? And this is the government's ran into this problem too. If you don't know, let's go to Shade Room. We'll be able to see. Today, Cassie Ventura and Alex Fine welcomed their newborn child, okay? She just gave birth, right? And what that means is that, number one, not only is she unable to retake the stand, it's going to affect the government. Let me just look it up. Cassie gave birth. Yes. So she gave birth to her third baby today. Okay. Remember, the reason why the judge denied Diddy's team a extension to start the trial was because the prosecutor had said our main witness is expecting a child. if we don't do it in the next month, we're going to have to wait probably 5 to 6 months. Again, you have to be very reasonable to your main witness. She's going to have a kid. She's going to have to breastfeed. She's also going to be going through things. She's a woman. Get it? So they wanted to do it before. So they denied Diddy the extension. And here's the thing, though, because it does hurt the prosecutor somewhat. Thus far, we're in week 3, day 2. This is the 11th day of trial. They're only talking about this one victim, Cassie. Now, because everything is still concerning her story, and yes, she did testify, how it works in court is that if people are testifying or there's additional people who are either corroborating or you're still bringing up stuff about that witness might need to be recalled to clarify. Cassie and her lawyers told the government, I'm going there one time and one time only. So she's just given birth. She does not plan to be a part of the trial, and the government has told the judge, we don't plan to bring her back. So because that's the case, Diddy's lawyers are taking that and they're saying, well, y'all can't use any arguments that we would need to require her to come back. I think that's a shrewd move. Hey, a normal witness, we could call her back. Cassie, we can't call her back, right? Because she just gave birth. So they're trying to carve out all these arguments that can't be made by the government because they're saying, if you make that argument, we should be able to call her back. Fuck pregnancy. If we can't call her back, it's unfair for Diddy. The prosecutor who made the decision to keep the trial on this schedule, they either have to suspend the trial, which, by the way, could completely turn to a mistrial because you're going to lose jurors, this, that, and third, witnesses might. They're trying to get to the conclusion of the trial. So they have to deal with these morning sessions where the judge is contemplating whether these arguments or these things should be shown because Cassie cannot take the stand again. Okay? All right. So they're talking about it. Donaldson, who's Combs' lawyer, that's the problem. We can't call back Ms. Ventura. AUSA says, well, Mr. Nash will quote it. He's making me freak off on my birthday. She didn't want to go. Combs Alexander Shapiro, by the way, this is the appellate lawyer, says a spouse might say he's making me go into the Rangers game. I'd rather not. So the judge says you could have cross-examined Ventura about this. And the judge says every day I'm getting these letters. These issues should be raised pre-trial motions. Yeah. So looks like he handles it somehow. It's not really clear how he really rules, even though it looked like he may have went to the side of the prosecutors on this one. They bring the jury in. AUSA says the governor calls LAPD officer Christopher Ignacio. Okay. AUSA says, what's a radio call? It says someone calls 911. It gets sent to the next available LAPD unit on duty. AUSA says on December 22nd, 2011, what was your shift? He says 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I was in a marked police vehicle. AUSA says, what do you remember? He says, well, I got a call around 8 a.m. with a code 3 with lights and sirens to 8925 Hollywood Hills Road. So what did you find there? He says, an Escalade. Ignacio says, I memorized the license plate. He says, why? He said, I thought it could be involved in a crime the way it left as soon as we got there. AUSA says, well, why didn't you go after it? He said, well, we didn't have a crime yet. The front door was unlocked. We went in. Remember, let me just get you guys up to speed. What happens is, remember, they call the cops, or I forgot who called the cops. I think it was Kid Cudi. They call the cops. Kid Cudi speeds off, right? Well, Kid Cudi got there later. But, yeah, Kid Cudi had sped off, and then the car had sped off behind him, which is Diddy's in the Escalade. They had called the cops before, so the cops got there while they're both leaving. Remember, they said they chased Cudi for a while. Cudi gets away. Cudi was in the Porsche that eventually got burned up or blown up, right? Cool. So it says, okay, so they went in. They get to the house. The door's unlocked. They go in. And so what did you see? High-end watches, purses, some wrapped, some unwrapped. 2 detectives showed up. When we came out, I saw the same black Escalade now driving down the hill. I said, then what? He said, I then seen Mr. Mescudi arrive in a Porsche. So it looked like Kid Cudi skirted out, lost the Escalade, which Diddy's in, with Capricorn Clark, and he has a gun on his lap. Obviously, it's his neighborhood. He knows a little bit better. He gets away. He probably saw the cop, coming to his house, and then he probably doubles back around because the cops are there. Diddy ain't that dumb. He's not going to kill you in front of the cops, right? Cool. Said, did you run the plate of the Escalade? He says, yeah, he came back to Bad Boy Records. AUSA says no further questions. Wow, really quick. Just as cross-examination, Brian Steele is back in. Now, chat, remember, Brian Steele did the first cross on the security guard. Remember Flores, the security guard at Intercontinental who came out, who was breaking up the fight between Diddy and Cassie, and supposedly there was a freak-off going in the room? He did a good job of basically saying, yo, you're testifying to a bunch of shit you ain't even writing a report, and the report is going to be from 10 years ago. How the fuck you remember shit from 10 years ago now that you ain't writing a report, nigga? What the fuck? And then basically it was also said a few things to say like, hey, listen, did you show the video to your wife? I think Brian Steele did well on the first person. Brian Steele's back in again, okay? Check him back in the game. Cool. So it looked like here we could safely assume they got Brian Steele not to handle any of the women who might be assistants or victims. They got Brian Steele to handle authorities, okay? So any authorities that take the stand, police officers, security guards, he's going to be the guy. Remember, Brian Steele, we all know, that's YSL Steele. He's a bulldog. He's going at it. We don't know if he has that side of, oh, okay. Like, you remember what Estavio did with Cassie? Like, in the middle of the question, she says, you're a very adorable woman. And she gave her a compliment, but really just to kind of ease everything in. And then also, and pause on that, and also to say, well, maybe your attractiveness in this and she made a good point afterwards. I'm not going to lie. Anyway, so cool. So now Brian Steele gets up. He says, yo, this was 13 years ago, right? Ignacio says yes. Steele says, did you read your partner's report? Ignacio says yes. Steele says, the streets, are there dead ends? Ignacio says, yeah, according to the map. Steele says, damn, it's a beautiful neighborhood, right? A cul-de-sac? By the way, anytime they do that, they're about to follow up with some shit. Anytime they give a compliment, it's about to follow up with some shit. Ignacio says, sure. Steele says, so wait. You show up, y'all see a car leaving, but y'all ain't follow the car, right? He says, right, we ain't follow the car. So did you see a Porsche? They said they didn't see a Porsche. Remember, the Porsche sped out first. They're like, that was Cudi. Spin this bitch around. Follow this bitch ass nigga. We gonna kill that crop top wearing ass nigga, man. Fucking my bitch, right? So look like by the time when the cops come, they don't even see the first car. They just see Escalade speeding up to try to catch with the Porsche. Steele says, do you know the definition of kidnapping? AUS says his objection. Judge says sustained. Steele says, were you told the homeowner was in the house shortly before you and your partner got there? AUS says his objection again. Judge says overruled. It says, the door was unlocked, right? Answer was yes. Steele says, there was no furniture upended, right? Ignacio says no. Steele says, yo, you called it a trespass, not a burglary, right? Because AUS says his objection. The judge says, I think sustained. Steele says no report on theft. Now, let me explain that. I think this is kind of law pretty much universally. The difference between burglary and trespassing is that burglary is you break in with the intent to take something. Okay? To take something or vandalize. Trespass would be you're in a area that you were not permitted to be in, but there is no proof that you were there to do another crime. So burglary is a two-step crime. Entering a residence or going into an area that says you can't go in there, like if they have a sign that says, don't come beyond this point. If you walk into that area and you get caught in that area, that's trespassing. If you walk into that area and you look into, oh shit, I see like a fucking shopping cart, let me go take the shopping cart, that's technically burglary. So just to give you the definition on that. Cool. All right, it's objection. It says, I think sustained. It says no report of theft. It says no. So basically, there was no report that there was something being stolen, or maybe someone was trying to steal something. So the cops were probably in a tough decision. Like, they probably had to charge it as, or probably write it up as a possible trespass because things were there and not taken, right? Steele says, if you thought there was a gun in the Escalade, you could have put out a bolo, right? I don't know what a bolo is, but I'm guessing it would be something where everybody responds type shit. Ayo says objection, justice overruled. Steele say you didn't, right? Ignacio says right. So basically they're saying they had no idea that Diddy or whoever was in the vehicle had a gun. Steele says, any mention of security cameras? Ignacio said, I saw some. Steele says, Kid Cudi wasn't hyperventilating, right? Ignacio says he was tense, I'd say. Steele says, did you search his Porsche? Ignacio says no. Steele says it was 8:20 a.m., not 6:20 a.m., right? Ignacio says right. Steele says nothing further. So it looked like they're pointing out, hey, listen, you didn't see Diddy. You didn't know he had a gun. And Brian Steele's pushing this line of, this is hearsay. This is hearsay. Did you get a report that he had a gun? No. Did you see something taken? No. That's why it's just trespassing. So you don't know if it's my client. That's what he was trying to end it. And then he pointed out one discrepancy on the report. Looked like they wrote it up as 6:30 a.m. It was actually 8:20 a.m. Okay? So they said nothing further. They do a redirect. AUSA says, we're not doing a redirect, okay? They then call a arson investigator. Okay, so this is the LA arson investigator, Lance Jimenez. He says, I'll place a binder in front. The witness then takes the stand and says, yo, listen, man, how many fires have you investigated? Jimenez says, yo, well, about 100 a year. Everything between mansions to dumpster fires. LA is pretty crazy. AUSA says, yo, did you respond as an expert to a auto fire at 8925 Hollywood Hills Road? Jimenez says, yes. There was a cut in the roof of a Porsche. AUSA says, but what about inside the Porsche? Jimenez says, oh, there were burn patterns inside. He said, what about any items? He said, well, there was a bottle on the front seat. Jimenez then says, there was a handkerchief that was burned. There was a lighter on the ground. AUSA says, what hypothesis did you draw? Jimenez says, well, I thought it was a Molotov cocktail. AUSA says, how did you think it got in? Jimenez says, I think somebody lit it, cut the roof, and dropped it in. AUSA says, let me show you some photos. Sorry. This is the black Porsche that was burned, right? He says, yes. He says, what type of bottle was used? He says, it was an Old English 800 malt liquor bottle. What the fuck? Who the hell's drinking that? I thought it, chat, you know what I was thinking? The whole time I'm thinking it's a Ciroc bottle. A little Ciroc bottle with a motherfucking handkerchief. The handkerchief that says, bad boy, take that. With gasoline in there, that's the Molotov cocktail, but obviously that would be like a clear giveaway, right? Okay, so it's a bottle like this. I would assume this one. Okay. It says, and the wick, it says, it was a designer type scarf. You got to make the Molotov cocktail with a little bit of Louis V, man. Come on, man. Shout out to Diddy. It was silky, and in my opinion, this was targeted. AUSA says there's a partial DNA profile. Was it consistent with a female contributor? Jimenez says, I was told that. AUSA says, do you know what it means? Jimenez says, no. Now, this is important. They argued about this point before. The AUSA wants to bring in this expert to basically say, we found DNA. Because so Diddy's defense team clearly has they've played their hand a little bit to say, we're going to say, how are you accusing Diddy when the DNA found on there is a woman? But the AUSA is saying, we want to bring in an expert. And the expert could properly say, or, analyze and be like, yeah, the contributor was a female, but it doesn't mean, based on what else we found, it wasn't complete DNAs. It could have been men there too. Like, they had to leave the window open. Diddy's team want to say, ain't no window open. Y'all found a female ain't Diddy. Shut the fuck up, right? So that's why the AUSA is asking the question to say, do you know what it means? The guy's going to say no, and then there's going to say, oh, but we had someone else, a DNA expert, analyze it, and then once you do that, it becomes evidentiary, then you could bring that person in, right? AUSA says, do you know if it's possible to touch an item without leaving DNA? Defense says objection. Remember, they're playing this cat and mouse game. They don't want the expert to get on the stand because the detective is not an expert. He cannot testify according to Rule 403 of the Federal Rules of Evidence. You can't have somebody give testimony to something that requires an expert without them being an expert. So he can't answer, the investigator can't answer anything about DNA shit, even if he kind of has an idea. He just can't answer it, right? So there's an objection. The judge sustains it because he can't answer that. He's not an expert. AUSA says, what happened to the print cards? Jimenez says they were destroyed in 2012. So on whose orders? Jimenez says someone in LAPD. AUSA says, not you or anyone on your team. Agnifilo says, I'm going to object to all of this. Can we have a sidebar? Now, this is very important, chat. This is very important. What this reveals is that the government knows that there was some foul play or some shit that happened in this investigation. Now, you could think either way you want to think. Whether Diddy's so powerful, he got somebody in the police department to destroy evidence, or some people that's either out to get Diddy or whatever, they destroyed evidence that could make him, evidence that would prove he's not guilty. They destroyed it. Whatever way you want to look at it, that's on you. So the AUSA is admitting, and if you wonder what a print card is, that's what would have the samples of the fingerprints found at the scene. So they're saying it was destroyed. So basically, you can't do tests on the fingerprints anymore in this Diddy arson case. And AUSA says, how is it destroyed? It says someone in LAPD did it. So somebody that's working for the police destroys the evidence that could either prove Diddy's guilty or innocent. Look at it either way you want. And then the AUSA says, is this anyone on your team? Agnifilo says, I'm going to object to all this. The reason why he probably objects to all this, they're trying to leave it open for the jury to interpret that. When you said someone in LAPD, it could be your team, it could be you, right? So that's why they're objecting. Okay, they get a sidebar. They pretty much had a long sidebar. The judge says, jurors, we're trying to sync up. Why don't we take a break? So such a long thing. Remember, this is kind of explosive. They're basically saying that the cops have covered up or either trying to frame Diddy. So they're either covering up for Diddy or trying to frame Diddy. Whatever. Okay. So now it says Combs even exited as well. So maybe he went to go take a piss or something like that, right? He went to the holding cell. Agnifilo says, let me get him. Combs is brought back in. The judge says, Ms. Slavic, what was the purpose in getting into that? So the judge is actually scolding the prosecutors, right? He says, well, they're questioning the investigation. We're entitled to ask this. So they're realizing that this entire thing is Brian Steele questioning if this arson investigation actually even remotely pointed to Diddy. And how was this investigation done? So that's why they're saying they're trying to they're like, we're going to admit that or bring it on the record that the investigation was fucked up, but it wasn't on the behalf of the people who did the investigation, with somebody else. Cool. The judge says, when I heard the questions, I assumed there was going to be a line of cross-examinations about the fingerprint cards, like about the DNA, but that doesn't appear to be the case. So I'm thinking of telling the jurors to disregard. Agnifilo says, hey, listen, this is outrageous. Agnifilo says, we're considering what remedies to ask for. Let me speak with my colleagues. They imply that someone in this courtroom was responsible for the destruction of the fingerprints. So that's kind of what's kind of like, based on the testimony, is a reasonable way to deduce that they're almost saying that nigga Diddy had evidence destroyed. Can't make that type of, thing. The judge does a recess, so now they're taking a long-ass break. They then come back. The judge then says, my intent is to strike from the record any testimony about the fingerprint cards or destruction of them. I will note that only the answers were what the witnesses knew about the destruction. I sustained the objection to as if it was abnormal, okay? Alexandra Shapiro, the appellate lawyer, says, we're going to move for a mistrial at this time based on a prosecutorial misconduct that has occurred. So basically by saying, hey, listen, you brought up this thing that we had not planned because we had talked about this. They talk every after trial and before trial. We weren't going to get into this, but y'all try to bias this trial. Y'all got no evidence about the arson. That's what they're trying to say. Y'all got no evidence against the arson. And because we're questioning the investigation into the arson that y'all charged him with, y'all trying to insinuate that Diddy destroyed evidence without no proof. That is completely biased. That is prejudicial to Diddy and his freedom. So they move for a mistrial. By the way, very popular tactic by YSL Steele. What am I calling YSL? Brian Steele did that a lot during Young Thug's trial. He brought it up a lot. Like, he was like, yo, y'all fucked up here. Like, and he kept doing it to the point that, they said no, like, we're not going to grant them a mistrial. But after a while, it becomes where remember, Young Thug got free because the judge scolded Paige Whitaker, scolded the prosecutors like, yo, y'all are amateurs. Like, y'all can't do this shit right. So maybe he's trying to do the same thing here. Okay, cool. So Shapiro says, hey, listen, there's prosecutor misconduct happening. Says some prospective jurors said Mr. Combs could buy his way out. This type of conspiracy is out there and bought into. So it was agreed upon, you can't allude to Diddy. If you can't prove it, don't allude to it. You can't allude to Diddy being able to pay his way out of stuff or destroy evidence, especially when it's evidence that only the LAPD could have destroyed, right? AUSA says it was Mr. Agnifilo. Never mind. It says they should have ended with when the fingerprint cards were destroyed, but they asked, did he authorize it? There's no way to unring this bell. The only proper remedy here is a mistrial. AUSA says that's absolutely unwarranted. AUSA says it was Agnifilo who wanted to inquire into the DNA, into the investigation. Your Honor, can just say that the jurors should not draw any inference from the destruction of the fingerprint cards. The judge says an application for mistrial is now denied. Again, even if it's denied, it's important that you made it, right? Because that's going to be a huge source of, appeal, right? Like, you're going to be able to appeal to say, look how they did this thing that you can't put a toothpaste back in the fucking tube, right? So the judge says, I sustain the objections when they were raised. The jurors have already been told the questions are not evidence. Shapiro says, Your Honor, could you tell the jurors that the questions were improper? AUSA says they weren't improper. You should say just disregard. Shapiro then says, and again, Shapiro's earning her money. I told you she's an appellate lawyer, but she's in this case to fight, tooth to the nails to fucking, if it does go to appeal, that's where her real work's gonna start. But she's fighting these small issues now. You gotta fight everything, right? She says, well, will the court tell the jurors, okay, the answer shouldn't be considered? The judge says, well, I'll tell them that the questions and answers on the fingerprints are irrelevant to this case and should not be considered. Shapiro then says, thank you, Your Honor. So all rise. All right, everybody's come back in court. It says the jurors, the answers and the questions on the fingerprints are irrelevant to this case and should not be considered by you guys. Please proceed. The AUSA then says, did you interview the owner of the Porsche? Jimenez says, yeah, Scott Mascotti. That's Kid Cudi. I did. Says, did you reach out to others? Jimenez says, I reached out to an assistant. I think her name was like Capricorn. Nifilo says, object. Judge says, rephrase. It says, who did you reach out to? It says Capricorn Clark and Cassie Ventura. AUSA says, did Capricorn respond or assist? Jimenez says, no. By the way, Capricorn had said that when the investigators reached out to her, she hung up abruptly. Okay? She hung up abruptly. What the fuck? Why did you send me this bullshit? What the fuck? Yo, chat. Is this real? My bad. I didn't want to pause it, but I just got sent this. Did Larry Hoover get pardoned? Nah, I told y'all Trump was the GOAT. I told y'all niggas, man. Man, I told y'all niggas, man. Trump the fucking GOAT, bro. Man, Obama wouldn't do no shit like this, man. Trump the fucking GOAT, bro. I been told y'all niggas he's the GOAT, bro. By the way, hey, chat. Y'all not gonna give me credit for the... Oh, young boy got pardoned too. Y'all not gonna give me credit for that? Y'all not gonna give me credit for that? Y'all not gonna give me credit for that. Chat, y'all not gonna give me credit. All right, hold on. You see? They whisper your accomplishment, they shout your failures. Y'all don't remember when I went down to Mar-a-Lago and I sat with academics, young boy, Donald Trump Jr., and I brought up the case. Y'all don't remember this?
A lot of people are asking. There's a guy who's a beloved. He's just a misunderstood guy. Actually, his name is NBA YoungBoy.
Okay.
He's been on federal house arrest. He lives in Utah. He was on federal house arrest for like 2.5 years, which to me just sounds wrong. Like if
for what?
For gun possession. He basically shot a music video. They believe that they got a call that, hey, there were guys on a block that were shooting a video and they saw weapons. They pulled up.
They don't even know?
Well, the police showed up. No one was there. They grabbed one guy who happened to be his cameraman, and because he's a big name, they seen him on camera holding what they believe is a weapon, and they're like, well, we're going to give you charges for that. So he has federal charges for that.
But it could have been a prop. They don't even know?
It could have been a prop, and they've been...
Yo, chat. I'm not getting W's. I'm not getting W's. I'm not getting W's, chat. I told you. You heard. Hey, listen. It's a reason why Ye said, I voted for Trump, not Biden. You know I voted too. Actually, y'all know Trump, my man. Come on, bro. That's my man. Yo. Third term Trump. Third term Trump. Hey, listen. I think Trump and Obama should battle it out. We got to do one little special election. Biden, he about to be dead. We need Trump versus Obama. I fuck with both. For the third term for either of them. I don't know. I'm going to have to go with Trump. But I love Obama too. Obama's dope. But if it's two presidents who deserve a third term, it's either Obama or Trump. So you saying, yo, chat, could y'all send me this clip? Grant, everybody, I need this clip everywhere. Because all of these little Sambo, woke niggas, like the Mark Lamar Hill niggas, they were all like, look at academics sitting with Donald Trump's son. I was planting a seed in his ear. Gang, I told y'all, when I met Donald Trump at UFC and I dapped him up and I said, hey, listen, I'm one of the biggest media outlets. And I think his team had told him about it because we were supposed to do a dinner one time. He said, hey, I do a lot for the hip hop community. You know what he told me? He says, I brought ASAP Rocky back home. I freed Kodak Black and I freed Lil Wayne. And I said, sir, thank you. We appreciate you. And I shook his hand. Gang, you got it. All y'all niggas who claim y'all too, like, y'all up like a dead nigga's ass because Biden dead at this point. That y'all don't want to fuck with Trump? Watch what my man's is doing. YB. Yo, YB. We coming to Great Nigga Mountain. It's going to be lit. Chat. Watch the whole media ignore it. All of these bum-ass niggas in media, when they had Biden, they couldn't get a sit-down with Biden. They couldn't find his crack-smoking son. They couldn't get shit going on. Big act. Make the moves happen. By the way, another thing. I'm going to keep it a bean. This is why you say, yo, big W to Rumble. My man who owns Rumble, Chris Pavlovsky, he owns Rumble. He's the nigga who put me with him. Facts. Remember when I went to Rumble? Yo, hip-hop is going all right. That's what they said. All these bitch-ass, pussy-ass niggas. Hip-hop is going all right. One of the biggest media. Look what happened. Larry Hoover coming home because of Big DT, nigga. Big 47. Big 45. Biden, all he did was pardon his crack-smoking son. I don't get no fucking credit out here, man. When I get on stream, I'm gonna call YB. We're gonna have a good time, man. But y'all niggas, man, they whisper your accomplishments, they shout your failures.
Arguing, hey, this is a prop. That's their actual argument in court. He's been sitting on federal house arrest for 2.5 years, and you know he got picked up today. Something.
This, by the way, chat. Y'all talk about ain't nobody more cultural than me, man. Fuck these other media niggas, man. Nigga, it's top one, nigga. It's only me, nigga. It's me, nigga. When I get my opportunity to sit in front of a nigga who has some power, I advocate for these. Yo, what's up with YB? What's up with... watch the whole interview. I'm talking about our shit. By the way, I got a shout out to my man Don Jr. We follow each other. That's gang. It's gang in him. He invited me to come hunting. Okay? You know what I mean? I know he got Secret Service. I ain't know if I could bring my guns. I might have to just go with whatever they approve. But... And his wife was so gracious. She flew to her. She showed me her closet. Oh my God, I've never seen a closet like that. Oh my God, she's amazing. And she made me a drink too. Oh, she's good. I love her. Amazing. The first thing she told me, she was like, "Did you know?" Because she used to work on Fox. She said, "You know, Kendrick Lamar put me on a song." I was like, "What?" Apparently, Kendrick's not. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the point is this: as much as they get at Big Act, they never say when Act got his chance to sit down with the president's son. Act was advocating for the niggas. He was advocating for who he listens to. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Chat. I promise y'all. I wish Tory had federal charges. He would have got pardoned today. I promise y'all. The president of the United States only has power to pardon people from federal charges. I'm telling you, Tory would have got pardoned today. Tory would have gotten pardoned today. But it's a state charge, and the guy politically, he's one of them woke Twitter motherfuckers who is never going to pardon Tory. But if Tory's case was a Fed case, I guarantee you today you would see Tory, whether he walks out or wheels out on a fucking gurney, he would have been free. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. And it's all good. You know, let me tell you this. You got to use some of these guys, you got to use their ear. There's power in their ear. Yo, we had dinner in Mar-a-Lago that day. And Don Jr. says to me, because he told me, they giving a tour, they say, yo, his father, Trump, just had like this crazy ass, like, whatever, it was like some donation shit. And, you know, they're very humble people. They said, tell me about your world. And they're telling me about all this crazy stuff going on in politics, Secret Service. They're telling me about, other countries have money on their head. I'm like, this is wild. And when they say, tell me about your world, you know what I started telling them? Okay, let me break down hip-hop. I started telling them about Drake and Kendrick. I started breaking down some of the people I listen to. I advocate for niggas who I fuck with. So I don't know if they ever heard about NBA Youngboy, but they sure heard about it from me. And I'm pretty sure other people. I'm sure other people too. But an NBA Youngboy, a Kodak Black, and, you know, again, let me go look at the list of pardons here. Trump pardon. Yo, I'm going to be honest with you, man. By the way, I think the next wave of pardons, I think SBF might get one. I ain't going to hold you. Just being honest. Where's the list? Somebody send me the list. Yo, we need third term Trump. Third term Trump. Third term Trump. Third term Trump. That's a fact. It says the White House officials tells Fox the president of the United States has signed a pardon for John G. Rowland, a former governor of Connecticut. Kentrell Golden, NBA Youngboy. You know what that means? If he don't got state charges or he's not a state felon, YB could own a gun. YB could go cop a gun right now. You feel me? YB could legally start toting again. He could legally start toting again. If he don't got, he's not felon on the state level, right? Well, but I think this pardon is like all throughout, ain't it? I don't know. Anyway, a New York rep. Okay, we don't know these people. We don't know. I think I've heard Bazin before. Todd and Chris Julie. This was the first one we heard because I think their daughter spilled the beans. And then they have commuted the sentence of Larry Hoover. Oh my God. Larry Hoover is walking. Oh my God. So for sure, Kanye coming back. I've been waiting till Kanye come out of Spain. I heard he's coming back soon. If you on Rumble and Kick, you know what I'm talking about. But for sure, he's coming back. Oh shit. All right. Let me go to. Free Larry Hoover isn't needed anymore because President Trump and Alice Johnson freed him. Full pardon. Oh, here we go. Oh, there we go. Ooh. Ooh, okay.
Inspiration to people. And we're going to be listening to your recommendation on pardons. You're going to go over and she's going to be my pardon czar. Okay?
You see, there's a lot of you niggas or Negroes that don't like to read, and y'all are so politicized. Y'all think that you only believe in government when it's the party you like. If it's the Democrats, you don't matter who the president is. You better start rocking. Hey, shout out to this woman. If she has the ear of Trump, big W. I'm finna follow her, cause I love indictment music, and I might need to pitch something about Dirk. I might need to pitch some shit about Dirk. I don't think my nigga Dirk did no shit. I might have to start putting it in somebody's ear. You know, the next interview I'm doing with Donald Trump or Donald Trump Jr., you know I'm throwing the Dirk thing in there. We got to get my boy a pardon. You see these other niggas, uneducated, bum-ass idiots, all they do is just talk. They ain't going to do nothing. When I get the ear of her or Trump, Dirk, you up next. You up next, gang. Trust. You up next. You up next, gang. You up next. Trust. All right, so okay. So she got his ear. Shout out to my nigga Bradford Cohen. I would give you some shit. I would give you some shit about that, but I won't. Okay. All right. This is dope. This is dope. It's dope.
My mic wasn't on the whole time.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Let me just post this real quick, man. Let me post this real quick. My bad, chat. My bad, chat. By the way, chat, I'm no way saying that I'm the reason why these people got pardoned, or, you know, even YB specifically. I'm just saying I got a lot of people who got at me for going to Rumble. Without me going to Rumble, I don't meet the president's son. I don't meet the president. Without me going to Rumble, this is WR Block. I don't meet him. Without me, when I hear him say, I freed Kodak, Wayne, and I brought ASAP home. Without that we don't have further communications about me doing interviews or streams or whatever. Without that, I know what demographic they're trying to get to. We understand it. Sometimes, you know, some people, they would be like, oh, you're being used.
They don't even want to give me my freaking
You got to realize sometimes if you're not being used, you're useless. So we gonna throw our agenda in there. Hey, we need this. Bro, could you look into this? Bro, this is what we need. Now, granted, I understand like a pardon, you might be like, yo, that's really individualized. I get it. But you got to be in these people's earshot to mention a problem. It could be a societal problem. Yo, listen, man, I need to fix this shit. Yo, could y'all try to address the shit in Chicago? Like, whatever. I don't care what it is. There's certain other motherfuckers who they're like, nah, man, we just gonna sit on Twitter and on our podcast and say, man, Trump is trash. He's trying to be a dictator. All right, shut your pussy ass up. Listen, we gotta get on to some real shit. You feel what I'm saying? All right, I posted that. Now let me post this other shit real quick. And then we're back to the stream. Holy. Ye has already responded. Look at my boy Ye, man. Yeah. Hold on. My bad. I'm posting on Instagram.
We are here. We go.
All right. Oh yeah, and I gotta post my clip. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm on some Instagram shit right now. I know. I'm on some Instagram shit right now. I know. I'm sorry. They ain't gonna give me my credit, so I gotta take my credit. They ain't gonna give me my credit, so I gotta take my credit, chat.
I can't believe they ain't give me my freaking lightsaber.
They ain't gonna give me my credit, chat, so I gotta take it. They're not gonna give me my credit, so I definitely gotta take it. Make sure I use this. I bet. Got it. Yo, you should have put the whole clip up, my boy who sent me this. You should put my whole clip up. This is another reason I can't be beefing no retarded nigga named Absol, man. You know, he's... Yeah, here we go. My bad, chat. A lot of people are asking. There's a guy who's a beloved. Yeah, we gonna get through the Diddy trial. Let me see, what time is it right now? Oh, it's only 2 hours, and we good. My bad. I hate posting when I'm on here, cause like y'all watching me say nothing. I'm sorry, but I gotta do it. This is a big moment. I'm sorry. This is a big moment, chat. It's a big moment for us. A lot of people are. You got a lot of waste man podcasters. They don't do a motherfucking thing.
You can't say I didn't wait until you killed him. Fucking needed this.
A lot of people.
They were not gonna give it to me. Well, now that we are, oh no, hell no, we're keeping this. That's for sure. You know what? We're cool. I like this jetpack thing too. Actually, we don't need it no more now. Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, and I got woman post. I got to do Larry Hoover shit. My bad. And then we're back.
I'm coming on TikTok to address the Bossman situation.
Yo, the Bati boy is saying that they lied on Bossman D-Lo now. This is crazy, bro. Bossman D-Lo must have did some Diddy shit and blew up the car. I ain't gonna lie, that's the only way you can send niggas a message. You gotta blow up a nigga car, bro. Alright, here we go. Got that, got that, got that, got that. Alright. And then All right, here we go. All right. Sorry, Chad. Anyway, let me keep.
It happened at his house, I guess. They raided it and they picked him up. And now everyone's saying you got to ask Donald Trump Jr. if Trump gets back in office and this guy's locked up, we got to throw him to the top of the party. Come on.
Listen. Hey,
Gotta
I'm a
throw
big
my
Second
guy. That's my boy. He got to go to the top of the party list. Chat, that's called holding your homies down. Pause. Oh, did he?
Are you freaking kidding
Now, I
me,
ain't gonna
bro?
lie. I told you Dirk's next on the list. I'm gonna chill off the Diddy shit. I'm not bringing that up. They'll be like, yo,
That's the
hey,
best
yo,
way y'all got to kill me.
while we're having dinner, eating some croutons or whatever the fuck. You know, this is expensively. We're eating croutons today. Okay.
Freaking,
Could you
this
just
nigga's
pardon
plane
Diddy?
keeps
They might be
going.
like, nigga, if you don't get your
He
baby all loving
fixing
ass
it
on out of here, get the fuck out of here, nigga.
Amendment guy, we discussed
I'm a
this
Second
yesterday. I know
Amendment
you
guy,
are
too.
too. I also know that the other president's son lied on his gun form, which is a federal offense.
Yes.
There's cocaine on the gun case, so you can't have drugs and be an active user while also on that.
True.
And, they're kind of sort of going after him with at this thing, but it's not like if there's no proof and it's a prop, that seems like total bullshit. So, and again, I know that I wouldn't get any benefit of the doubt when it comes to this government and this DOJ either. So, I take that one pretty seriously because there's someone who has a lot of guns and loves shooting and does all that stuff.
The night before, he sat and told me a story about his favorite thing to do is hunt and shoot guns. He's huge on Second Amendment rights. He loves guns. I said, I bet. I'm going to ask you this while we live. Hey, we needed this, chat. That was good.
I think when they abuse that and they try to push, down the Second Amendment, I think I have a real problem with that. I'd have to get into the details because I'm sure there's another side of a story that maybe I'm not hearing. Someone,
they raided. I'll be fair. They raided his house, saying that he was doing drugs while on house arrest. His argument is that, hey, listen, you've had me in the house for 2.5 years. Mentally, it's affected me. I have these prescribed. There's
Big W. Okay, chat. All right. We're gonna get a little bit more into that, but we gotta finish some of this Diddy stuff. Oh my God, damn! I didn't even think I started late today. I didn't even think that we were gonna turn into all this. All right, cool. Let's go. All right, bet. All right, bet. All right. Okay, cool. So they instructed jurors, yo, don't read into anything with the fingerprints or the fingerprint card missing. Blah blah blah. Now they start. They said, you interview the owner of the Porsche. It says Scott Muscuddy. That's Kid Cudi. It says, yeah, they said yes. They said, do you reach out to others? I reach out to an assistant. Capricorn, there's an objection. Then they said, yes, Capricorn Clark and Cassie Ventura. Did Capricorn respond? No. So AUSA says, how'd you reach out to Cassie? I wasn't able to buy a phone, but I tried through a family member. Did you reach her? Never. So Capricorn nor Cassie ever responded. Were charges brought? No, but I never closed the case. It was listed as inactive, and they say nothing further. Cross-examination. Agnifilo says there was DNA hit on the glass bottle for female DNA, right? Says yes. It says, do you remember when the results came back? Agnifilo says maybe 6 months. Agnifilo says there was a test on the bottle. Was it important? Says yes. Agnifilo says, what does it mean partial DNA female? Jimenez says, I have no idea. I was told if we had a suspect, we could test against it. Agnifilo says, any other DNA on the bottle? AUSA says objection. Judge says rephrase. DX852, that's the exhibit. Just for the witness. Says, that's a glove, right? Jimenez says, yes. Niflo says, did you find another glove? He says, no. He said, did you test the glove for DNA? He says, no. He said, I understand it belonged to the owner. I guess Kid Cudi. It was a driving glove. Niflo says, your premise was that the Molotov cocktail was dropped. Did you think the person who dropped it may have worn a glove? Jimenez says, perhaps. Ignifilo says, so it would have been hot, right? Jimenez says, only the wick. You know what Ignifilo is trying to paint is that, couldn't Kid Cudi have done this shit himself? Because they found a glove at the scene, and they're like, okay.
This gun's really cool when you have
Whose
it.
glove was it? They're saying it was Kid Cudi, and they're saying, wouldn't you wear a glove to do something like this? And so, anyway, Ignifilo says the damage, it's on both sides of the bottle, right? Says, looks like it. Did Miss Scuddy have more than one Porsche? Says, I think he had a second one in the garage. Now you know what they're pointing at. Maybe Kid Cudi did this to insurance fraud, right? It says, why is it in your report that he has another Porsche? It says, it was not involved. Ignifilo says, you were unable to reach Capricorn Clark or Cassie, right? When did you reach out? Jimenez says, in the first few weeks. Ignifilo says, are you sure? Tell us everything about these calls. Jimenez says, I believe Capricorn's brother answered and we disagreed. Ignifilo says, and once Kid Cudi told you it was his glove, you didn't investigate the glove anymore, right? Says, I did not. Ignifilo says nothing further. So they're basically saying maybe Kid Cudi did it, or Kid Cudi threw them off the scent by saying, oh, that's my glove. So they stopped looking into the glove. But it's kind of like baked in the cake, like, yo, so somebody throws his bottle in, it's broken on both sides. It had some heat or was fire in it, even though the detective is saying, well, the bottle probably wasn't hot itself, only the wick. But still, they're like, the glove. Anyway. It says, redirect. It says, when did you speak with Kid Cudi? It says, the same day. AUSA says nothing further. That was a weak redirect. Okay. There's no recross. The judge says, next witness. It says, the government calls Deontay Nash. Are you under subpoena? Nash says, yes. AUSA says, do you want to be here? He says, hell no. AUSA says, what's your work? He says, I'm a celebrity stylist. AUSA says, what about in 2008? I was doing it for Puff and Cassie. AUSA says, how'd you get hired to work for them? Nash says, through a Craigslist ad for Bad Boy Entertainment. AUSA says, this photo, is it a fair and accurate portrayal of how you looked at the time? Nash says, not even close. AUSA says, is it a glamour photo? It's like, yes, I look amazing. Okay. AUSA says, how often would you witness Mr. Combs and Ventura interact? Nash says, at least once a week. What did you see Mr. Combs call or hear Mr. Combs call Ms. Ventura? So I heard he called her bitch, hoe, Cece, baby girl, slut. He would call her an outright hoe, a slut. Anyway, he says, how did she react? He says, she was always sad. AUSA says, did Combs make threats? Yeah. He said he would beat her ass. Then he would send her sex tapes. AUSA says, how often would he say he would beat her ass? He said, quite a few. It drove her crazy. She would be super emotional. She might stay in the house for days. AUSA says, how often did Mr. Combs say you could not go out without his permission? Nash says, twice. The first time we went to a gay club with Kyle and Adrian. Then we went to her LA apartment. Puff called and told her she better bring her ass to his house. She panicked. AUSA says, what did you understand Mr. Combs was saying? Donaldson says, objection. Judge says, overruled. It says, now she packed her stuff. She went to her house. AUSA says, did you attend the Vanity Fair party? He says, yes, it was a Oscars after party in 2014 with Cassie and Puff. They were both there. AUSA says, how did she look? She looked bomb. Her hair was, you can tell this nigga gay. Donaldson says, objection. Judge says, overruled. Her hair was long. Puff picked me up and threatened me. I pinned her hair up. AUSA says, did she record music? Says, very often. What was your role? It says, I helped pick out songs. I probably should have been called an he's about to say executive producer. Donaldson says, objection. Judge says, sustained. AUSA says, her mixtape, was it ever sold? Nash says, no. It was put out for free. But it did well. It was a top download. Comey, which is, I guess now they're naming the AUSA, Green Comey. How much of her music was released? He says, I'm being generous. I'll probably say 10%. AUSA says, I think that'll be a good place to break. The judge says, you may break. Jurors leave. Then Nash says, judge says, Miss Comey, what he'll say about 2013, it's not about the tapes, right? And they says, no. I don't know what tapes that is. So they break. They break for lunch. Let me play our normal people, Lauren Conlon. Let's just play her morning session. Maybe she only did one. No, I think she probably did two, right? No, she only did one. Here we go.
It is day 11, week 3 of United States versus Sean Combs. Right off the bat, I want to let you all know that the defense moved for a mistrial today. It was denied, but it got very spicy in the courtroom. But I'll get there. I'll tell you exactly what happened. But first, let me start with the first witness of the day, someone from the LAPD, a police officer named Christopher Ignacio, 16-year vet. He was working in December 2011 when he was called to Kid Cudi's house for a possible break-in at 8:20 a.m. That's when he was called from dispatch, or he received this call. So he goes there with his partner, lights and sirens on, just in case he doesn't know what's going on. He says that when he pulls up to the house, outside of the house is a black Escalade. And he said he looked at the license plate and he made sure to memorize it. He actually recited it for us on the stand. He testified that he went inside the house. You know, he saw the presents on the table, a watch, some purses. He said that 2 other detectives showed up and they searched the house. Nothing was missing, nothing was broken, and they wrote up a report. He said when he got back outside, he saw the same black Escalade come down a hill. And, he also testified, just going back, after the black Cadillac, or the Escalade, it's a Cadillac Escalade, just kidding. I'll refer to it as both. After the Cadillac drove away, he said that the homeowner's black Porsche pulled up, which we know was Kid Cudi. So, that was pretty much it was a very short, direct, but during cross-examination, which was done by Brian Steele, and by the way, he has really good pace, Brian Steele. He just kind of gets it done. He said, did you see at any point the Escalade and the Porsche next to each other? Like, did you see the Porsche pull up next to the Escalade? And the police officer said no. And he said, so did you see a chase? Did you see the Escalade chase the Porsche up a hill? And he said no, because that's what we heard yesterday from Capricorn Clark. And then, he kind of said, okay, so you wrote this report, you're very detailed, you just told us the license plate number. Did the homeowner share with you anything about a gun, that somebody who broke into his house might have a gun? And he said no. So that was a moment. He said, all right, so, if he didn't testify that there was a gun, like, was it a burglary? What was it? And he kind of just said they wrote a trespassing report. He did say that Kid Cudi appeared flustered, and another point of contention, or I guess trying to discredit Capricorn Clark, was the timing, since they were called to the house at 8:20. I think she said it was somewhere between 6 and 7 a.m. So I think they wanted to point out that discrepancy. But then we got to the arson investigator, and his name is Jimenez, and Lance Jimenez, excuse me. And he's a 22-year vet with the LA Fire Department. And essentially an arson investigator is like a detective for the fire department. So this is actually where the mistrial comes in. So he was discussing the fact that he was called to the residence of Kid Cudi in Hollywood Hills after around 11 a.m. after the fire department got there because they were going to do an investigation. So we were shown pictures of the car, where it was parked in the driveway, evidence photos, and all of that jazz. Now, the driveway of Kid Cudi's house was really long, and I was surprised to see that the car was parked right in front of the garage, which was closed, and there was 2 other cars parked behind it. So what Jimenez testified was that, his opinion as an expert was that somebody cut the top of the car and dropped in this Molotov cocktail, which, which by the way, was in an Old English bottle. And he said that there was a silk scarf used. And so he believes that this is why the Molotov cocktail didn't really explode properly, because he said, there was damage to the car, obviously, but it was minimal damage. And he thinks it's because of the scarf. And if it actually did explode and go off, it could have done a lot more damage and even possibly, reach the house. Now, they were discussing evidence getting tested and all that stuff, and how, he sent it off, but he didn't really know that much about the DNA evidence that was retrieved. He said that he knew that there were partial female fingerprints taken from the Old English bottle, and he also said that he spoke to Kid Cudi, and Kid Cudi gave him some names to call, just people who might know things, and he gave him the names of Capricorn Clark and Cassie Ventura. And the defense said, well, did you call these women essentially after you found out there was female DNA on the bottle? And he said that he didn't know. But Cassie did not answer, and obviously Capricorn didn't answer. He also stated that Capricorn's brother kind of threatened him on the phone when he called a few times trying to reach her. And he also said, and this is Jimenez, Lance Jimenez, he said that he actually even contacted Cassie's father, who was a firefighter, who said, okay, I'll try to get in touch with Cassie. Never did. So they also, the LAPD, I guess this is where I'm going with the mistrial, they were able to do a print card, is what it was called, where they took fingerprints off of his door from this trespassing incident, and they were trying to lift other fingerprints off of the bottle, of, you know, some of the evidence that they found. And so it turns out this print card, the government pointed out that it was destroyed in August of 2012. And it wasn't destroyed at the directive of Jimenez. It was destroyed by somebody in the LAPD. And the government went on to say, you know, did you authorize this card to be destroyed? And he said no. And then they said, you know,
chat, we're playing this to, you know, again, me reading the tweets, I love doing it, but we don't have a realistic idea of what is being said and how it's being said in court. These people are in court. So I know y'all might think I'm just like playing a recap of what I just read. I'm not. I'm trying to see if maybe I read something in a way that wasn't a big deal, or I'm looking too much into it, or maybe I missed a moment. These people are in court. This is federal court, people. There's no cameras. There's no, oh, okay, we could all go play that moment and clip it. It doesn't happen. So we're really relying on these people for us to get a good understanding of what's happening, that we could make up our minds and see how this is going, right?
Was it unusual for something like this to happen, or this card to be destroyed? And then there was an objection. It was sustained, and we took a break. But what happened was the defense said that during jury selection, there was concerns from the jury that Sean Combs and other celebrities can buy their way out of these situations. So the defense was saying that the government was kind of purposely planting this and using lines of questioning, like they were, to infer that he paid for someone in the LAPD to destroy this evidence. And when they went to move for a mistrial, they're just kind of like, you know, how can they unhear that? That's going to be in their minds. The government said that, you know, that there was no prejudice there. We weren't doing that, quote, on purpose. What did they say? Yes. So basically the judge denied the mistrial because the defense did not object until the last question. And I wish I wrote down the other questions. I'll have to refer to the transcript. But then there was a really spicy moment because Alexandra Shapiro, Diddy's attorney, said, well, then Judge, I want you to tell the jury that they should disregard the government's improper questions and obviously the answers. And then the government's like, you don't refer to us as being improper. That's not going to look good. That's not cool. And essentially the judge said, okay, I'm not going to say that you guys are improper, but what I will say is please disregard the questions and the answers. They have no bearing on the case. So he did tell the jury that, you know, they finished up the
Okay, she's pretty much saying what we kind of already know. All right, I'll go to logic, and then this is the same rounds we normally do, chat. This is the same rounds we normally do, right? It looked like, was there only morning coverage? Because I don't see any evening coverage at all.
When a lot of folks talk about Diddy trial, they talk about what they perceive to be government corruption. Well, government corruption was on the docket today, this morning, day 11, but it was brought up by the government, and their inquiry in that direction led the defense to be asking the judge to grant them a mistrial. I'm Joe Neerman, aka Good Logic. I am down in Southern District of New York every single day, dropping 2 vids a day, covering this trial and giving you legal perspective, as I am a New York litigator who has practiced in this very courthouse. Now, this morning we heard testimony from first one of the police officers who arrived on the scene of Kid Cudi's house the day that he reported a break-in, which testimony has been brought forward from Cassie Ventura, Capricorn Clark, and Kid Cudi to imply that Diddy and his associate, his bodyguard by the name of Ruben, were the ones who went into his house. Later, days later, when his vehicle was struck by an arsonist, when he called a Molotov cocktail, that led to an arson investigation. And the second witness we had on the stand today was Lance Jimenez, who was the lead arson investigator and looked into the circumstances surrounding it. Now, how did government corruption come up? During the course of his direct testimony, Mr. Jimenez was testifying about the fact that at a certain point he was trying to go to the police to get fingerprint cards from the break-in, try and find the connection there. And that when he searched with the LAPD, the fingerprint cards were missing. He was asked whether or not that was usual. And at that point in time, there was an objection from the defense. And a sidebar, they sent out the jury, and there was a long back and forth. The obvious implication that the government wanted the jury to conclude, at least in the opinion of the defense, and between you and me, I would agree with the defense on this. They wanted the jury to think that Diddy was responsible, or some persons working in connection with Diddy were responsible for having those fingerprint cards removed from the police records. Now, that's obviously a very serious implication, and the Tenny Garagos, who raised the motion for a mistrial, said that the reason they walked down this road was specifically to plant this seed, that he's got connections and that he's trying to he controls the government, and that either through bribery, friendship, or some connections or some other basis that he got police officers to destroy the fingerprint records that were taken from Kid Cudi's door when they conducted the police investigation after the break-in in order to help protect him. Now, the reason that you would think that this would be potentially relevant is because it could lead to obstruction, which would support the RICO charges, and in that sense it could be relevant. At the same time, seeing as how there's never been any implications that or evidence put forward to say that Diddy had any sort of connection with it, it is very prejudicial. And Tenny Garagos for the defense raised the point that at this point, you've now planted this seed. She also pointed out that she didn't like the fact that questions in voir dire, when they were doing jury selection, were talking about issues with respect to people having connections with the police. And that she thought that all of this tied together, and that the questions that were elicited this morning were all designed to elicit a response and a reaction from the jury that Diddy is connected with the police, and that he's pulling the strings, and that if you have enough money or enough political or celebrity status, that you're not going to be prosecuted. And that's what she said was brought up by the questions that were raised in jury selection, and that was only cemented today. She said there's no way to unring this bell. There's no way to take this out. And the judge responded and he asked the government, what is your response? And they said, well, we felt that based on discussions with defense that they were going to challenge the legitimacy of the investigation. We need for the jury to understand that the reason there weren't additional steps taken with the investigation is because those records were missing. Tenny Garagos aptly responded saying that doesn't explain why you're asking follow-up questions as to whether or not that's customary. And the implications of that, the fact that you're asking these follow-up questions, are for the jury to conclude that something very peculiar happened in this circumstance, specifically because Diddy was a suspect. So the judge ultimately said, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to deny your motion for a mistrial, but I will instruct the jury that the questions that were asked here were improper and that they are irrelevant, have no bearing on this case, and they should ignore the questions and the answers here. This got the government really outraged, and they said, whoa, we don't need to have a jury thinking that we're asking improper questions. We don't think there should be any curative instruction at all. If you want to strike it, you can strike it. We don't think there should be anything curative, but at the very least, don't tell them that we did something improper here, which will have them biased against us. And the judge thought that over and he said, okay, I'll take that out. Tenny Garagos comes back and says, no, they need to know. They need to know that this was really improper, because otherwise this is all planted, buried in their minds at this point. But the judge disagreed with them, ended up giving a curative instruction, telling them they should disregard the entire colloquy there of questions and answers related to anything having to do with the fingerprint cards. It was not really a tense moment. There was no moment there where it seemed as if the judge might...
He said the same shit. Hold on. We might get into some rap shit real quick, man. Listen, man, I'm having a good day, man. Big 45, Big 47. You know, it's 45 and 47, you know? He did his thing. Yo, hold on. Niggas is saying, wait. Let me look at the Billboard charts. What's popping on here, man? What's this? Let's see what's going on. That Luther song is garbage. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Like, this shit is garbage. I ain't gonna cap with you. Like, let me tell like, I ain't even want a nigga who's like, yo, Not Like Us is botted. This shit gotta be botted. This song to me is garbage. Sorry, bro. I don't fuck with this. But I don't like SZA music anyway. All she be doing is whining and like, I'm like, yo, this is for hurt bitches, man. Like, I don't like, I can't listen to that shit, man. Like, okay, let me see what's popping. Let me see who got songs on the Billboard 100. Let me see what Drake got. Oh, Somebody Loves Me still on it. Oh, he only got that in Nokia. Okay. What about Kendrick? Peekaboo? Niggas didn't listen to that bullshit? Peekaboo. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yo, chat, I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all already think I'm anti-Kendrick. I ain't gonna cap with you. Like, I mean, I just expose bots. I ain't really say, Not Like Us is a hit. How the fuck did Not Like Us get off the Billboard 100? It sounded like somebody forgot to pay for this week's bots. What the fuck? My nigga, like, Not Like Us is hotter than TV Off still.
How in the fuck?
Nigga, wait, Not Like Us ain't on the charts? Nigga, that shit was just top 10. Ain't no fucking way. All right, bro.
How in the fuck?
Yo, you see when you buying the bots, you gotta realize what it says. The subscription for the bots finna end. You gotta re-up. Make sure the credit card on file. Wait, how the ain't no way. Bruv, these songs is not hotter than Not Like Us. Hold on, let's see. Nah, this gotta be cap.
That's crazy. I can't believe it all that stuff.
TV Off with Lefty Gunplay. Oh, hell no.
Quits on this.
Squabble Up. Man, stop it, bro.
If y'all want some more
Peekaboo.
go to Twitch.
Wait, so Not Like Us, not on the chart.
I'm about to switch over to Twitch, y'all.
Man,